Hello and welcome to this Fallout 4 settlement tour video. This is XtremeWackazoid and today we are looking at Abernathy farm. This is a PS4 version and a number of mods I'm using, which is listed below. What I wanted to do with Abernathy farm is to build it around the existing structure so that it would be difficult to tell the difference between where the structure ended and where mine began. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you're probably seeing a theme there, and that's definitely something that I like to do. And Abernathy farm is a large build area, it's a large structure, and so it gives you a lot to play around with. Abernathy farm is one of the few settlements that has a Brahmin. Typically I don't like Brahmin, they kind of get it in the way. And they're kind of ugly and things like that. And so what I realized is that Brahmin come from your recruitment beacons, and they only come if you turn a recruitment beacon on. So what I would do is I would just never have a recruitment beacon on at any of my other settlements, and I would only have recruitment beacons on at Abernathy farm and the other settlements that already come with a Brahmin. And then when settlers come to Abernathy farm, I would then send them over to a new settlement. And that sounds really tedious, but I spend a lot of time on my settlements, and so you can finish up a settlement and you'd have enough settlers over at Abernathy farm to send over to your newly finished settlement. I typically only have 7 or 8 settlers. It seems to be the most efficient use. There's 4 vendors, enough farmers, and then typically a provisioner. All of my settlements are growing mute fruit. It's the most efficient food to grow. It's 1 food per plant, and they're all wearing the same outfits. I like them to look really creepy, having the same outfits, and they are fitted with ballistic weave as well. So I'm going to take you up and into this structure and give you a sense of the space, and hopefully this will give you a few ideas of what you can do with this space. And so I'll take you up first. What I like to do with my settlements is have a number of different exits. I think if I lived in a wasteland, I would like to have a number of different exits. And so here's the top of Abernathy farm. And again, I wanted to make it difficult to tell where my structure began and ended. And if you want to do something like this, you really just have to play around with the clipping of this roof. Make sure your structure will actually fit, particularly if you want to do things like here, where I have a ramp going up and over to my new structure. And so you want to make sure those ramps will actually fit. I have a restaurant up here. I like to have a restaurant because the settlers will actually come here and pretend like they're ordering food and rest up after a day of hard work. And if I have the space, I like to give it some workspace with the restaurants. So there's an oven and a fridge. And what I like to do with the vendor stands as a tier 3 vendor is to put items into the shelves here so it looks like they're actually selling something. And so with that, I just drop an object and then use the action button to carry it over and then drop it again into those shelves. And so up here is this restaurant area. There's some benches out here looking out. And if you put these type of bars here, the settlers will actually come and rest and sit there, and it looks like they're holding drinks and things like that. And so here's my other vendors. These are shelving with items on it, and for that I use OCDecorator, or at least I typically do. I think here I didn't use OCDecorator, and you can kind of see the result is if you run into it, the items kind of jump around and get messy. But typically I use OCDecorator. So here's my junk vendor. Here's a clothing vendor, and then my clinic. And so this whole top area wraps all the way around the structure. And I wanted to put barriers all around here so that I don't fall off and the settlers don't fall off either. So you can tell there's a big radio tower, and so you have to account for that if you're building around this structure. And so just going kind of into Abernathy Farm, the original structure here, I didn't do much with this inside space because you really can't fit much in here, and so I just put some tables here with benches, picnic tables, and some beds, and some shelving here. And I think around here I fit in a bed and things like that. So I used scrap that settlement to get rid of a lot of the junk that's inside there. And so I'll take you up to the second floor. Again, there's a number of different exits. And here is just the residences. It's kind of dorm style residences with the same type of beds and shelves. And you see this is a lot of uniform materials. It's all the barn materials. Typically I like to use a bunch of different materials so it looks more junky, but with this I really wanted to stay true to the barn feel of Abernathy Farm. One of the first things I do when I build is I decide where my power source is going to be, and typically I build it up high, but here I didn't. My power source is inside this. But what I definitely do is build a barrier around it to protect it, because attackers will definitely go after your power source. And so what I built around this power source barrier is some outhouse restrooms with lighting, and then a restroom, shower, and a bathroom. Those are both showers, I guess, with sinks. These are minigun turrets and heavy laser turrets, and I really like to raise them up high on these ball track supports with a little square of wooden platform. I raise them up high because it protects them against melee attackers. And again, there's a number of different exits, and so I wanted this wall to continue down, and so this is the first floor, and really all that's in here is just this wall that wraps around this structure. What I like to do is put lights up stairways so that way you can see where you're going at night, and I do like to light the entrances to my structure as well. So hopefully this will give you a few ideas of what to do with Abernathy Farm. If you liked what you see, then hit like on the video and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.